I remember a boss from 30 years ago telling me the reasons for managing my territory call cycle effectively and efficiently. He said very clearly, each of your sales calls cost me $250, so you better make sure you sell more than that. The more of the right people you see, the more successful you are. And it's about managing your time and how long you travel between meetings so you don't waste petrol. Pretty direct. I remember spending hours with a map stuck to a corkboard, different coloured pins that represented different categories of customers, then splitting my map into 5 areas so that we didn't travel too far in any one day during the week. Whilst it may sound antiquated and archaic now, the discipline drilled into me to value time and sales energy was critical to my everyday sales life and my everyday sales success. So what are the key elements that must be considered to build an effective territory call cycle today? Look, before we start, I really want to dispel some myths. The main one being that call cycles only really work for fast-moving goods and pharmacy sales. Why? Because they're very disciplined. In fact, as we've shown, any business where anyone responsible for business development and customer management with multiple customers, there is a clear need to have a balance of planned activity and reactive activity time. In addition, it is key to remember that we're not talking about 100% of your weekly time, 24/7, being accounted for within the sales cycle. So, what are the considerations we need to execute on? There are 4 key elements that I want to talk about. What are the defined territories that we need and why? Consider distance, key conurbations, population numbers, the number of customers actual versus potential. What is the potential spend between our existing and potential clients in the territory? What are the mix of our target industries within the territory? And finally, how does this align to our strategic plan? Once we've got those territories in place, we now need to categorize the customers within the territory. And also remember that for many of you, you're also going to have acquisition targets in addition to your existing customers. Most businesses categorize their clients by current spend and occasionally by current margin, whether that be percentage or cash. More and more we encourage businesses to include potential revenue and potential margin in their analysis. Whilst ideal, the challenge many face, however, is they actually don't understand what the potential is. Now we've defined the A, B and C customers, we now need to define the activities we need to undertake with each category. Let's consider the levels and types of activities we need to undertake. I'm not saying every client does not deserve great service, but it should be commensurate to actual and potential revenue and margin. Sales visits, phone calls, breakfast meetings, marketing events, quarterly business reviews, joint planning, key thought leadership activities are all critical value building activities that add value for the client, not just for us. In addition to this, remember we've also got to consider what the clients want from us. Too many times we're self-oriented and not client-driven. For example, there are clients out there, many large ones nowadays, people like oil companies, banks, etc. They don't want salespeople in their faces every day of the week. Part of the reason for that is they've had poor interactions and their experience has put them off. So how do we manage that? Maybe it's a more remote marketing approach. Whatever happens, we've got to put ourselves in the client's shoes and add great value for them. We've got to build this value into our call cycle. Finally, how much does this activity add up to over a 13-week period, or maybe a 12-week quarter if you include holidays? Compare this to the time we've got available. So what do you actually see in terms of the activity time we've got available? 8 to 10 hours meeting time per week, face-to-face. So in a 12-week call cycle, 120 face-to-face meetings. If we've got 50 customers in our territory, it means we've got to be ruthless with our call cycle. If we're not, we're potentially going to waste time with the wrong type of customers. And remember, we've still got to leave time for proposals, customer service, training, other reactive time. Now within that 12-week call cycle, remember, I'm not talking about 24/7 being planned out. I'm talking each week probably having 5 half days of planned time and the rest you leave for those reactive activities. Look, in principle, it's simple. But for many salespeople, it means letting go of old habits. Too many times, we see unrealistic expectations being set with both activities and outcomes. Not enough focus on seeing the right people the right amount of time. Not enough buffer for those other activities. Look, there's no magic wand in sales, we know that. But maybe we should go back to that cork board. You know what? It was a great discipline. It challenged how we worked. Let's do it again, but today, use modern tools to be able to do that. At the end of the day, it's about how much we do, who we do it with, and what we do when we get there. That's going to drive our success.